Hail, fellow Tenno. In this video series, we're going on an expansive journey throughout the Origin system. Whether it's the plains of Eidolon, the streets of Halvorsen, or really anywhere else you can think of, we'll find our way there to explore what these places can provide us on our travels. The Origin system is a place full of opportunity, and our goal is simple: to make good use of said opportunities. Welcome back to the path to 100,000 platinum. Welcome back to the overgrown forests of Earth. Previously I talked about and explored how profitable the Grenier outposts can be here. There's some more that I can explore on regarding that. For example, I never talked about a possible platinum per hour from Earth. We'll get into that later on in the video. But before we get into the events of the past few days proper, I have a small admission to make. Because of the challenge restrictions, I may not be able to provide a constant source of information regarding our platinum farming endeavors. And what I mean by that is in regards to farming sources, drop chances, etc. Because I won't be exploring future farming methods until we're at those points, I might run out of things to say regarding just spamming Cambria over and over again, and truth be told, I wouldn't be surprised if I do run out of things to say. So if one or three of these episodes don't actually showcase anything new for Tenno's platinum farming methods, please don't worry too much about it. I think that the most important part of our path to 100,000 platinum isn't necessarily the end goal, but rather the journey itself. In line with that, I think these episodes are also meant to double as a sort of personal journal, if that makes sense. Anyways, the short version of all that is that these videos aren't necessarily always going to be very informative. If and when that's the case, chances are the video will be a bit shorter than otherwise. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm sorry if that's disappointing to hear, but that's about it. Without further ado, let's get right into it. From the first week's worth of platinum farming, we now know that farming Kubrows isn't exactly an efficient strategy. With that knowledge in mind, I would instead focus entirely on the big mover going forward, the 60/60 mods. Throughout the events of day 6, here's what we got. We got one copy of Volcanic Edge, and one copy of Vicious Frost. And we sold a total of 2 Volcanic Edges, 2 Vicious Frosts, and 1 Hastened Deflection. It was a rather dry day in terms of mod drops, but a decent count on our sales. Day 7 was more of the same farming ritual we've grown accustomed to. Throughout day 7, I got 2 Volcanic Edges and 2 Vicious Frosts. And then the sales came along. First, after some technical difficulties, there was a total of selling off 18 Lith N18 relics. Not sure what that guy wanted with all those N18s, but hey, I'm not going to complain. We've seen before that Void relics do sell. It's not quite as often, but when they sell, they sell. I then sold off a copy of Volcanic Edge after the same exact technical difficulty happened. And then finally, there was a single copy of Vicious Frost. And for some reason, the buyer decided to tip me 2 platinum for a total sale worth 12 platinum instead of the expected market value of 10 plat. If you're watching this video, double thanks to you, Tenno. Now, day 8 was a less than desirable day, by which I don't mean the game itself. Rather, I think I picked the wrong time to stream or something like that, or maybe the universe itself was conspiring against me in that moment. I don't know, it was just a weird day in general. So first, it started with me thinking I was live streaming, right? So here I was, blasting, and I look over to OBS, and OBS is showing, everything is showing perfectly normal. It thinks I'm streaming, so all's cool, right? Oh, no, apparently not. So, I don't know what's going on there, but OBS pulled out the freaking mind trick or something, because this went on for half an hour, alright? I thought I was streaming normally, and yeah. But the thing is, for some reason, OBS was displaying the streaming, but apparently it wasn't. So I thought I was live for half an hour, but then it wasn't. Instead, on my YouTube page, my stream was showed as upcoming. It was showed as like, oh, he's gonna start streaming imminently. For 40 minutes, dude. So in tandem with that, I felt a growing tiredness. Once I got my streaming situation set up properly, I ended up taking a small break, but once I was back, we immediately returned to standard process. So, our big series of unfortunate events aside, how good was day 8? Well, to start, I managed to get my hands on 3 Volcanic Edge copies and 2 Vicious Frost copies. It's pretty good. Of my available inventory, I ended up selling 2 Vicious Frosts and 1 Volcanic Edge. At this point, we're up to 296 platinum. But I ended up cutting the recording before I made one final sale, and we're now up to over 300 platinum. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm not just exploring, potential platinum making methods. This is also a sort of personal challenge for myself. I'm trying to see if I can reach 100,000 platinum, but I've set myself milestones to reach. So every so often, once we reach a certain amount of platinum, the next area will unlock. And our current first milestone is set at 2,000 platinum as of recording this video. With the sales we've made over the past 8 days, that means we're 15% of the way to our first milestone, just by farming 1 mission. That's really good. Like I mentioned previously in this video, I never talked about our possible platinum per hour from this mission. So, where do we start? Let's start with what we know. There's a 20% chance per run, assuming we claim all 3 spy vaults, to get a 60/60 mod. With the average market price for these being 8 plat and 10 plat respectively, we can expect an average yield of 9 platinum per drop. With a 1 in 5 chance to earn a 60/60 per run, we can expect our average platinum yield to be about 1.8 platinum per run, give or take. Now, how about the time spent per run? With my average builds, I can expect to clear a spy run in roughly 2.5 minutes. 1.8 platinum per 2.5 minutes is rather small, but let's add that up. With 2.5 minutes per run, not including loading screens, that means 4 runs every 10 minutes, which is 24 runs per hour. With an expected value of 1.8 platinum per run, we're looking at a potential of 43.2 platinum per hour, just from hunting down 60/60 mods. Now, if we include loading screens, we can probably knock that down to maybe 30 to 35 platinum per hour. Let's just go conservative and say we're earning 30 plat per hour. That's pretty decent, but that's also not including any other potential sales we get. But at 30 platinum per hour, if our milestone stays at 2,000 platinum, we can see our first milestone being conquered in just over 60 hours of blasting Cambria. Now, when I'm running a really fast build like you'll see later during the day 9 footage, we can probably estimate into the ballpark of 40 plat per hour because of faster run times, which would mean a total of, roughly 50 hours of constant running, not including our already existing capital. Day 9 of farming Cambria was partially done off stream. This was a decision I had made the day prior after my brain essentially capsized on itself halfway through the stream and I had to take a little break. That, and I want to get through blasting Cambria sooner rather than later. I figure the sooner we unlock platinum making opportunities, the better. To that end, I spent a while farming, and oh man, there were plenty of spy vaults to crack.
Se eu vou lá no salmo, me chama de pai. Na igrejinha, me chama de pai. Se eu... E como ficar rico mais um. Quase não satisfaz, mas hoje eu tô vendo a falta que ela me faz. Camisinha é ruim, quase não satisfaz, mas hoje eu tô vendo a falta que ela me faz. Como ficar rico se nós Como ficar rico se nós tem pensão demais? Eu vou lá no salmo, me chama de pai. Na igrejinha, me chama de pai. Se eu...
So, how many 60/60s did we get during this? Well, I kept track. I got a total of 6 volcanic edges and 7 vicious frosts. Insert obligatory 6-7 joke here. Anyways, that's a pretty good chunk of potential platinum yield. I didn't get many sales throughout the blasting, because I didn't have my Warspray mark active throughout it, save for one particularly odd occurrence. If it's cheap, someone will buy it. It's true. What? Nah, there's no way this guy wants Reflex Guard. That can't be right. No way he wants this. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, really? I've been dropping those like candy, by the way. I dropped so many that I stopped counting them on my notepad. I mean, if it wants it. If it wants it, then deal's the deal. What? No. Hold on, is this some kind of joke? Wait, is this some kind of joke, bro? No, this guy's legendary 5. Why would he want a reflex guard? What? I don't understand. Wait, does he want both of them, or? I mean, I can do both. If anything, I'm just really confused. Okay, I technically have 4 on my notepad, but... There's no way those sold. What are we witnessing? I don't know. This is some freaking underground market. Why does a legendary 5 need 2 reflex? That's what I'm asking, bro. Why does he want 2 reflex guards? He asked how many I have. He wanted more than 2. Yeah, that happened. And no, I am not making that up. A legendary 5 Gauss player legitimately bought my reflex guard copies. It's still absolutely silly to think about. And as you can tell with the footage I just showed, yeah, I was absolutely dumbfounded. And I still am. I never thought for 1 second that of all the things I've done in this game, that I'd find myself selling the reflex guard mod, of all things, to a legendary 510. So, that weird happening aside, we're looking at a pretty sizable profit going into our next days of platinum farming. Now, throughout this week, we've made a pretty big profit. There's no day 10 in this episode because, frankly, the new Path of Exile League came out and I wanted to play that instead. To my fellow exiles out there, I just want to make a quick remark that Holy Strike is a pretty fun ability. Might make a video about that soon. Anyways, we started this episode at 179 platinum, and we're concluding it at 311 platinum, for a total profit of 132 plat. It's worth noting that as of day 9, I'm now sitting on a massive pile of 60/60s, which means our goal is moving ever closer. With that, that's about all for today. If you're still here, that probably means you want to see where our journey takes us. So why not subscribe to the channel? It's free, and it probably helps these videos reach more Tenno who are attempting to make some plat for themselves. Thanks for watching, fellow Tenno, and until next time.